down my boat!
Hello everyone, this is Brian the Duke of Prevalent Arts, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to draw the human form. I was asked to make a video of this, so I want to teach it to you. Now everyone has a different technique in drawing, and before I teach you my technique, I want to make sure you become aware of just the regular anatomy basics. Now, the way it was taught to me is that you need to start with a stick figure drawing. Now, when I say stick figure, I don't mean something like this. That's how a lot of people do it, but it's not accurate. A proper stick figure is supposed to represent the skeletal structure. So the stick figure should look more like something like this. This is how a stick figure should look, and then through this we add other shapes, like a torso, a pelvis, and other circles here. And triangles for the feet, and then we connect them. Oh, I forgot to add circles here too. So this is how you start off. I mean, this is just a rough example, but let me get more into detail on the anatomy basics. Because each line and each shape represent something, so let's make sure that you become familiar on what each symbol stands for. This example will demonstrate the anatomy of a cartoon, but still in human form. The first step is lines for poses and balance. So as I said earlier, the lines can represent the skeletal structure, but they can also represent the figure's balance. In this case, the figure is leaning forward. Now these two extra lines represent the shoulders and the hips. The shoulders are tilting one direction and the hips are tilting another. This gives the character more rhythm and doesn't make it look as stiff. The arms and legs draw a sense of personality rather than remaining straight. Shapes for body parts. These shapes are for mapping out where the different body parts will be, but they are also in accurate proportion of the figure's weight. The torso rounds down for the rib cage, but the roundness of the pelvis demonstrates movement of the hips. Other shapes are indicated for the hands and feet. The feet, for example, are triangles, but they are slightly warped to show movement. These circles represent the figure's joints, but also the width of the flesh. Make sure you also add joints on the shoulders and pelvis. Forms for leanness and angle. This step is not required, but it is helpful for accuracy. Forms are 3D shapes. If you were looking at a figure straight on that is positioned straight, then the shapes would appear 2D. In this case, the figure is leaning and tilting the shoulders and hips in opposite directions, so this changes the perspective. Here is a colored version of the forms. You are looking up at the torso, but down on its pelvis. The angles help show the figure's bending points. Mannequin for flesh. We are no longer working with simple lines, shapes, or forms. Now we are connecting lines from each joint. The joints are the width of the flesh. And notice that the lines are not straight. They are curved. In the figure's left leg, the width gets larger from one joint and then gets smaller to the next joint. and the feet and arms are now more rounded. We can now erase the parts that are no longer needed to get a simplified body. Clothing and final details. With the anatomy drawn and angles revealed, we can now put clothes and other details on our mannequin. Now that you know that figure drawing starts with basic stick figures, now I'm going to show you my technique. And the reason I use a different technique is because depending on the complexity of the figure, you can't always start off with stick figures. For example, if you're looking down at a character, then you need to have the different shapes that represent the body overlap one another. Or if you're looking at a foreshortening view, then it's hard to draw it again as a stick figure. Now, what do I mean by foreshortening? Looking at a figure like this is different than looking at the figure like this. The arm comes at you, and that is called foreshortening. So, let me show you my technique on drawing the figure. Okay, now I'm going to try drawing another pose of this character here. Now, right now I'm in the draw persona, so I'm going to go into the pixel persona because I always like to start off with a basic sketch first. I'm going to close that layer and I'm going to make a new layer. And here, under that, I'm going to make a pixel layer under that. And for my brushes, this is the brush I have, so I'm going to double click this. And for dynamics, I have under dynamics, I have flow jitter set to pressure. So when I draw, it's like this. Drawing lightly, it's very lightly, and then drawing darker, the brush gets darker. So I'd like to have opacity set for pressure. Okay, so first I'm going to just draw an action line. Alright, so what is this line? This is the action line, or the line of force. I'm saying that this will be the pose of the character, but it will also be the character's proportion, because if I don't draw the line first, I might go off the page. Okay, now, midway through this line would be about right here. So I'm going to just go up a little further, and I'm going to draw a line cutting through right here. And now I'm saying this is where the hips are. And now half of this distance, I'm going to cut another line. And I'm saying, okay, this is where the shoulders are. And I have both of these lines tilting different directions, because if they weren't tilting, then the character would look too stiff. And that's also why I had the action line not be straight, because the character is never standing straight unless they're being measured. Okay, so now right here I'm going to draw a circle, like right here for the head. And now right here I'm going to draw not a circle, but kind of a funky looking shape for the torso. And now right here, I'm going to draw a pelvis. And notice that both of these shapes taper down. It's not just circles. The head is a circle, but these shapes are not circles. Now, I'm going to draw circles on top of the torso and the pelvis. So right here, I'm going to draw a circle here, but don't draw too big because this circle is going to be the width of the arm. And now over here, I want the character to be kind of on the side, so I'm going to kind of overlap it. I'm not going to draw the circle over the torso. And now I'm going to do the same for the legs, although the legs are thicker than the arms, so I'm going to make the circle a little bigger. And now the same on this side. Okay, and now for the head, I'm going to draw a little jawline. The circle is just to start off. So maybe for the jawline, have this part be straight, come down, and then good. And now see over here how I kind of had a cheek come out? So now I'm going to draw a little darker. Whoop. Let me zoom in so I can be more accurate. So right here, have the cheek come out. And then right here, I'm going to just take my eraser and bring that size way down. All right. Now, if it helps, make a line that shows where the center point is. And right here, I'm saying, is where I want the eyes to be. And over here is where I'll eventually have the neck. It's not right here. The neck would have to be over here. And this is cartoony, so it's okay if the figure is not 100% accurate. All right. And to see how I made the line a little more above the head, it's showing that the character is looking up. If the line was right in the center, he would be looking straight across. All right. So I'm going to have this arm come down. And I'm just drawing sticks right now. I think that is a proper proportion. And with this side, it's going to have his hand like right on his waist. And right now I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, the body is going to come down from this point and it's going to stop on this point. So I'm going to just draw a little circle. And, well, that kind of looks like his stomach is hurting, so I don't want to do that. Maybe something like that. Because this character is supposed to be very adventurous, so he's just looking up and thinking, yeah, we're going to go on an adventure. Now I'm just making another shape for the hand. Okay, now for the legs. Maybe this leg, have that leg kind of tilting backward, and then this leg going up, and now stops right here, and then this leg coming down. Now for the feet, I'm going to have triangles. So this foot is coming at you. That's why I have a triangle. And now for this foot over here, the triangle is going to be facing this way. So the shoe is coming at you here, but the shoe is tilting away over here. Because if you're standing, the feet are never parallel to each other unless you're choosing to stand that way. Okay, now I'm going to draw circles for the joints. So right here, I'm going to draw a circle here. And I'm going to draw the circle a little smaller right here. Now it's the same over here. Draw the circle the same size as over here, and then draw the circle the same size as over there. And I think I made it a little smaller, but oh well. All right, so these circles represent the width of the flesh, but they are also the joints. Okay, so I think this is a pretty good stick figure. Now I'm gonna flesh it out. So right here from the torso is going to connect to the pelvis, but it's not going to just be straight like that. It's going to kind of round it out a little. So it goes in, then comes out. Same over here. Goes in, then comes out. But I want to make sure that it's touching the hand as well. And then same over here with the arm. And don't just have the arm be straight. Kind of, go in and out. Have the arms be rounded. Okay, now I'm going to start right here because this part of the arm is closer to the viewer because it's in front. Now over here, I'm going to have the leg stick out like that for the calf. All right, now you can't really see all the circles, so I'm going to just lightly, we'll go a little more than that. I'm going to lightly do this just so you can see where the circle would be. And now I'm going to start the leg right here. Go out like that. And now I'm saying that the triangle comes out like this. So now I'm going to make another shape. So the foot is coming at you. So I have hand. I'm just drawing basic shapes first. And where the pinky is, the finger tilts down. So the thumb would be right here. I'm going to just draw a stick first. And actually, I think I made that a little too big. And now this would be the index finger. And this would be the middle finger. Be a little longer. And as I said, the fingers will be overlapping, so you won't see all the fingers. All right, now I'm going to draw over this. So now I'm going to draw a little darker. That's the thumb. It's getting a little messy, but all right. Command D to deselect. All right. Okay, now I'm going to lower the opacity here, and now I'm going to try drawing this character again. Now, the ear would have to be right above where the jawline starts. So it would be perpendicular to the jawline. Now over here, the eye is going to be slightly smaller because we're looking at the side of the face. And the nose is going to be aiming up because he's looking up. Now for basic folds, I'm going to have the bottom of his shirt kind of taper out. But don't overdo it. You don't want to have folds be like this and just keep going. Try to keep the folds minimalistic. Now his shirt is very have a lot of folds in them because his shirt is very loose. Hold Alt and using the mouse wheel to zoom. Okay, and that is how you would draw the human form. Start off with this, and then draw the final details. And then after that, I would go over the vector tools, and then I like to use the pencil tool, and then I use the stabilizer. I'm not going to do it in this video, but that's how I would do it. And you see over here with this character, each object is isolated. So here is the one part of the hat, and here is the other part of the hat. This hat is in front of the hair, but the under hat is behind the hair. So keep each object different, and of course, each object is a closed path, or most of the objects anyway. I just want to show you something quickly. So if I were to, close everything up, I actually start off with open paths and then I convert to closed paths. So right here, for example, I'm going to just draw an arm over here. Now stop right here, but first let's bring the stroke size down. Now see, I'm not obeying the rules. I'm not drawing in closed paths. Alright, so just for that part. Now, I'm going to go to each of these objects. I'm going to add a node here. Break curve. Join these curves. Break a curve here. Then add these curves. Join these curves. So, and I explained this in another video, picture a closed region going all around. And that is what I do. That's how I draw the character. I start off with open paths and then I convert them to closed paths. But make sure you do isolate each body part. The torso, the arms, the legs, the head. Because if you don't isolate them, then everything gets complicated. And it looks like my battery's about to die, so I need to end the video right here. But I hope this video was helpful. This is how I draw the figure. So, everyone have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.